Let me say this to you. I got the Boston Celtics going to the finals.
I got them winning it all.
What?
You got them winning it all.
What?
Yeah.
You think whether it's Phoenix or Golden State or Memphis, because that was your pick, you think the Boston Celtics are beating any of those guys?
Listen, the Boston Celtics, I'm riding with them to win it all. This is not breaking news. I said it already.
Ooh, it is not breaking news. Perk, you said it. So we're going to start right there. What message did the Celtics say with this win?
You know, I think
They're the best team in back.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Perk.
go ahead.
Perk.
Go ahead.
got a
No,
lot of
go ahead,
excitement
because
here.
I was ready to go. Go ahead.
I mean, I know Perk.
Go
That's
ahead.
that's his team.
Yeah.
You know, Perk played with the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? He might be a little biased, but I actually agree with Perk. You
Yeah.
know, I think the
Likewise.
Celtics are a team that's well equipped in every position. I think they're well coached. I think their chemistry's great. I truly feel like the Celtics are the best team in the playoffs right now, and they do have a chance to be NBA champions.
Yeah, all right, Perk. We're all here with you.
Beantown, what's up? Beantown, what's up? Hey, look,
Beantown,
I'm
what's
telling you
up?
right now, yeah, it's fired up in the Beantown. I'll be down there on Monday, just letting y'all know Big Perk in the building. That's first thing first. But what we're witnessing now is we're witnessing a team that has defensive greatness written all over it. When you look at their personnel, starting with their defensive player of the year and Marcus Smart, watching him being able to guard multiple positions, being the heart and soul of their defense, and then we're watching two-way players in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Both of them guys strapping up on the wing position, and now you have that interior presence that's still versatile to go out there and switch out on pick and rolls, and Al Horford and Robert Williams. And then you add an additional guy that comes in off the bench, and Grant Williams, who's becoming the ultimate 3-and-D guy. And I'm looking at this Celtic team, and we all can talk about offense. We can talk about shot making. We can talk about them getting hot from the three-point line. But championships are won on the defensive end. And right now, what I'm witnessing from the Boston Celtics is a championship caliber defense. And whether it's the Miami Heat, the Golden State Warriors, or the Dallas Mavericks, I don't see any one of those teams being able to get their offense off against this stellar defense and this clinic that this Boston Celtics team has displayed throughout these playoffs.
I mean, I think it's safe to say that Boston has a notorious history of bouncing back and kind of being in that underdog position. So, nonetheless, this game had a lot of folks shipping up to Boston and getting on the train for Boston to win it all. But for Miami, who is the most important player for the Heat to bounce back, and can they do it? Amari, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, I think Bam Adebayo is the most important player at this moment. That he needs to assert himself in this game, right? And there's a lot of ways he can do that, right? If he establishes his position in the post-up area, being able to catch the ball in spaces where he can be most effective, efficiently, is important for him. He does a lot, defensively. You guard, 1 through 5. He's rebounding the ball well. He's doing those small intangible things in the basketball court, but we need him to be more assertive offensively. We need him to have a 30-point game. We need this to happen because if P.J. Tucker doesn't play, then now you're another man down on the Miami Heat roster, and you need Bam to step up big time in Game 2.
What about you, Perk?
Well, you know what, Amari, I'm gonna have to disagree with you, and not the fact that you were making valid points, but I just don't see how Bam could even make his imprint or put his imprint on this game, dealing with how the Celtics have this versatility on the defensive side of things. Just think. They just went through Giannis Antetokounmpo, the most dominant player in the league. They guarded and basically clamped up Kevin Durant, who's arguably one of the greatest scorers to ever touch the basketball. So when I'm looking at this Miami Heat team, I got to look at a guy by the name of Tyler Hero. Where's Tyler Hero? At the beginning of the season, Tyler Hero said, hey, when you mention Luka Doncic, when you mention Trae Young, you need to start mentioning my name and put my name in the conversation. Well, guess what? No Kyle Lowry, no P.J. Tucker probably for Game 3. Guess what? The stage is set. You're going against a guy, Jason Tatum, that's around your age, superstar status, and now you have a time to elevate your game and rise to the occasion. I think Tyler Hero is the biggest key. If you go back and look 2 years ago in the bubble, it was him, Jimmy Butler. Yeah, Bam had some good games throughout that series on the defensive side of things, but Tyler Hero was the X factor. And in these 2 games, he hasn't really put his imprint on it. And I just don't know if he can, but I think he's the X factor. And I think Eric Spoelstra got to take the handcuffs off a little bit. Like, 24 minutes, 11 shots. He can't really have them doing that predictable offense. He got to let these guys ride because because having that predictable offense is not gonna allow the Heat to be able to score on this Boston Celtics team, especially in the half-court set.
I mean, my question to that is like Tyler Hero, right? Where's his focus? You know what I'm saying? He wants to wear the shades. He wants to have his back out in the
gun
press
show,
conferences. He wants to do the gun show.
Yep.
He wants all this entertainment stuff. But where's the focus on basketball, right? After the bubble, he had a great run in the bubble, but then ever since then, he was like, hey, where's the hero? You know what I'm saying? But Bam Adebayo's a guy who has the potential to be a perennial all-star. He has the potential to be a top defensive player in this league, and he has to take that step. In order to become a great player, regular season, okay, you become a star regular season. But in the playoffs, you become a superstar. You make your name known worldwide. You become a high commodity basketball player. And for the Miami Heat to get to the next step, to get to the finals, they need the cornerstone of Bam Adebayo to be that guy to help them get there. And I just don't see it happening. He needs to try to figure that part out and speak with the coaching staff and the development staff, watch some film, and figure out where are the areas on the court where he can be assertive and try to change the game in a positive way.
Well, and I think, too, the playoffs are where, not to tag on to hero, but playoffs are where heroes are made. Essentially, that's where the superstars come out to light. Now, we got to move from the East Coast to the West Coast. The Golden State Warriors dominated speaking of heroes, with a 112-87 win over the Dallas Mavericks in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals on Wednesday, shutting down Mavs superstar Luka Doncic, who finished with 20 points on 6 of 18 shooting, and it was the 3rd lowest career scoring playoff game for Doncic and was just the 3rd time out of 24 postseason games he failed to score more than 20 points. Now, Andrew Wiggins was the hero who was tasked with defending Luka Doncic, and defended him he did. All 5 of Doncic's contested shots, he had 1 breakaway dunk for his 6th field goal, came against Wiggins, but Wiggins held Luka to 5 of 11 shooting. Wiggins also forced Doncic into 3 turnovers. Now, with that being said, do we believe that the Warriors will run away with the series? Perk, I'm going to start with you.
Hell no. I think this series is going 7. I have the Warriors picked to win in 7. But look, let me explain something to everybody, right? We saw what happened last night with the Boston Celtics, right? Being able to regroup, get their personnel back. When teams go through game 7s, like the Dallas Mavericks did, right? And they have a quick turnaround. And you have a Golden State Warrior team that's been waiting on them, that's been able to get rest, that's been able to put a game plan together. All of a sudden, they come out and they punch you in the mouth. Look, I was a part of a 2018 where we went to a crucial Game 7 with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and then we had a quick turnaround against the Detroit Pistons, against Chauncey Billups and Rasheed Wallace and Ben Wallace. In Game 1, they punched us in the mouth because we wasn't ready. So, look, now that the Mavericks have an opportunity and Luka Doncic have an opportunity to go back and watch film, to see what the Warriors are doing to him, to make the necessary adjustments, they're going to come out and it's going to be a different Dallas Maverick team tonight. And this series is not over. It's just getting started. And I expect Luka to go back to being the Luka that we seen last series and not in Game 1.
Heard it from the big man. What about you, Amar?
Yeah. I mean, Perk has a very good point. I do think Dallas is going to definitely watch film. They're going to recoup. They're going to look at areas where they can improve. They're going to find out ways to get Luka more involved. And Luka's going to watch film. He's going to dissect the defensive strategy that the Warriors are putting on him, and he's going to figure out a way to be assertive. I don't think it's going to go 7. I think Warriors are going to beat them.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think the Warriors are going to beat them in 6. Because it comes down to the most conditioned team.
Yep.
And you got to guard the Warriors on the defensive end. These guys are moving nonstop. The ball is always moving. There's no time to rest, and they also out on fast break with up tempo style of play. And if the Mavericks are not in great shape, by the time the second half come around, the Warriors are just going to stretch out their lead further and further. It's going to be hard for them to keep up, for Dallas to keep up with the Warriors.
Well,
Perk,
you know what? I think the Dallas Mavericks go out and get this game. I think they get this game. I think Jason Kidd is going to get into his bag way at the bottom, like he got fries at the bottom. I think he's going to come out with a game plan. I think he's going to put guys in position to be successful. Look, Jalen Brunson didn't shoot the ball well. Hell, the Dallas Mavericks as a whole didn't shoot the ball well. And they actually had some good looks from the three-point line. I'm telling you, Luka Doncic is one of those guys that he loved adversity. We saw him. He has proven us wrong time and time again. I know he's proven me wrong. I bet against the Mavs, and I said I was taking the Jazz in the first round. I said I was taking the Suns against the Mavs in the second round. Luka Doncic is just one of those dudes. Jason Kidd warned me. I was sitting courtside. We was in Boston. It was during the regular season. He said, I'm going to tell you something, Perk. This kid right here is special. The best in the league, and he's really about that life. I think this series is going 7. I think it's far away from being over, and even with that said, none of these teams are beating the Boston Celtics.
No, none of them are. And I think there is something to be said for having that kind of underdog mentality for Luka to show up. Now, aside from your fries quote, because I'm always looking for the bottom of the bag and the fries too, before we let you go, Amari, Big Perk was pretty intense, and plenty of players took notice, including our own Amari Stoudemire, who said on Perk back in 2009, and I quote, "He's always mean, always mad. He don't never have fun out there. He needs to learn how to have fun on the basketball court and just enjoy his life, enjoy the game." Are we enjoying ourselves, gentlemen?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I'm having a blast being on set with you and also with Perk. This is a lot of fun for me. And Perk was a great player. This guy's a champion. He was always intense in the game of basketball, which is you need that focus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm definitely having a lot of fun.
All right, well, thanks for hanging with us, Amari. And Perk, stick around.
Well, excuse me, Amari. I did not notice. I did not even know that you said that about me. Listen, excuse me for not being blessed and having the physical gifts to dunk on everybody every single game. Excuse me for not having the franchise talent. Look, I had to be mean. That was my identity, right? I had to go out there. Either. Look, if I was gonna be nice, I was gonna be without a job. So I had to be an enforcer, especially when I went against you. I couldn't just let you come in and do what you had to do, man. It just wasn't going to happen.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, thank you, Amari. Perk, stick around. We have by Chase. We've got a fresh hour of First Take coming your way. The conference finals continue on tonight with Game 2 between the Mavs and the Warriors. What team is best positioned to win the whole thing? And Nick Saban may have apologized for his spicy comments, but is the mouth of the South, Paul Feinbaum, buying it? So much more to debate, still to come on First Take.
JJ frowns and all this stuff like he's scaring somebody. He's scaring no damn body.
I'm not trying to scare you, Stephen A. I'm trying to debate you, and I'm trying to point out how erroneous you are sometimes.
Well, first of all, it's very rare that I'm erroneous, so let's keep that in mind. You wouldn't waste your time sitting across from somebody who's erroneous.
But there's another move you do with the hands, too. What is it exactly?
He does this. And then he does this.
I do the up. That's, I do the thing. I do that one.
You got it going.
Eric Spoelstra's one of the best coaches in the game. They'll be ready and what have you.
Ever. That's correct, then. Okay.
I'm good with that. No problem.
Well, that's not fight.
You ain't got to correct on everything. It ain't like I said he wasn't. But I will tell you, he's one of the best coaches ever.
Thank you.
All right.
It's just a beautiful, bald moment for all of us. Just looking great. I love it. I love it for us.
Bald and beautiful.
This is the
Great
part
to
where
work
makeup
with you.
people come out and panic because they don't have enough powder.
You're shiny. You're
I
shiny.
know.
Y'all
We're
is too
just all the
shiny.
time.
Hey,
See you later.
ESPN, order more powder.
Favorite college basketball player?
Respect. Favorite basketball player. I wanted to go to Duke when I was a kid. I watched everything he did. And look at me on TV right next to him. I couldn't make this up, man.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Oh, my goodness. I can't. What is in that orange juice? What's happening right now?
Oh, he loves that South Beach.
Oh,
Look
he
at him.
loves it.
The Celtics stormed back in Game 2 with a dominating win in Miami. Boston trailed by 10 in the first quarter and then outscored Miami 60-21 over the next 18 minutes. Al Horford and Marcus Smart were back with a Smart rebound short of a triple-double. The Warriors have broke even in the latest NBA championship odds, and the Celtics sit second after their major turnaround in Game 2, and Golden State is primed to go up 2-0 on the Mavericks tonight. who have the longest odds of the tour at 10-1. For more, we've got Kendrick Perkins and Tim Legler here now, and welcome back, guys. Perk, what team is best positioned to win the NBA title?
You know what team is best to win.
I know. I gotta ask you again, though.
Okay, but don't start that. Look, it's the Boston Celtics, and let me explain why. One, they're in the better conference, okay? When you look at the East is far more better than the Western Conference. Two, they're going to have a harder journey for us getting to the finals and winning the championship. If you look at it, they had to go through Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, two guys that have been there and won a championship. One guy that's a two-time finals MVP. Next round, you go and defeat the defending champs, although they're missing Chris Middleton, but now they beat the defending champs with the most dominant player, best player in the world, Giannis Antetokounmpo. And now you look at the Miami Heat, the team that's the number one team in the Eastern Conference, with one of the best coaches in the game, and you look at how stellar their defense is. Now, look on the other hand. Say if it's the Golden State Warriors, right? They played the Denver Nuggets the first round. And we know that the Denver Nuggets, no disrespect to any team, but they was the worst team in the playoffs, okay? And then all of a sudden you go to a Memphis Grizzlies team who lost their superstar in Ja Morant, inexperienced, and so they pulled off their series. Now you're going against the Dallas Maverick team who is young, unexperienced, who's making a rise, but they haven't been at this moment before. So when I look at the Boston Celtics, their defense and the journey and the path that they have to go through to actually get to the finals and win it all, I got the Boston Celtics as the team to beat and bringing home the championship this year.
I'm right there with you. What about you,
Perk lays it out really well, and he's right about this.
Yep.
To this point, Boston's got a better resume, right, based on this postseason. Because you took out Brooklyn with two superstar players. You took care of business with Giannis Antetokounmpo and the defending champs, no doubt. And now you get a pretty tough Miami Heat team as a number one seed, and you go in there and you get a split. So their resume's been stronger than Golden State's, but I still like the Warriors, and I think here's the reason. Every other team that Boston is going to have to defend is going to look a lot different than what Golden State does. I saw an incredible statistic the other night, and for me, it sums up what Golden State's about and why they're so tough, and they have so many weapons, and they're so difficult to communicate for 24 seconds against. You know, in Game 1, in the last 6 seconds of the shot clock, when most teams in that situation give it to a great player, let him isolate, everybody stand and watch, and you end up with a contested jump shot. That's typically what teams do when you get down to that 5 seconds on the shot clock. Golden State was 12 for 14 from the field in those situations. And I bring that up because they're just different. You've got to guard them the entire time. They are not going to make it easy by saying, hey, mano a mano, Boston lines up with these great defenders, all this versatility, length, and size, and we're just going to come at you like most teams operate, ball screen or isolate. That's not what they're going to do. They're going to make sure that you chase them for the entire possession. They're going to make the extra pass. They're going to back cut you. They're going to put the ball back into the top of the key multiple times in the same possession in the hands of Draymond Green and let him sort of pick you apart and be the brains of the operation. I just think that they have so many weapons on a given night. You know, you've got 4 different guys capable of giving you 20 to 30, and you've got Draymond Green who can facilitate and make sure the ball goes where it's supposed to. So, look, either one of these teams capable of winning it, but I want to be clear about something. We tend to do this nowadays in sports media. We're already dismissing the Heat. We're dismissing the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas down 1-0. Miami's in a 1-1 series, and we're already talking about, is Boston or San Francisco going to have a better parade route? I just think it's a little bit premature and unfair to the 2 other teams that are still playing, because I think Luka's going to have a lot to say tonight.
We are jumping a little bit.
We are, but Lex, that's what we do. And look, you are OG in this game, and one thing you know better to do is the game is to be sold, not told, okay? Look, I understand. I think Luka's going to come out in great fashion tonight. I think this series is going 7. But here's why I give the slight edge to the Celtics again. I just want you to think about their starting 5 for a second. Marcus Smart, 6'4". Jaylen Brown, 6'7". Jason Tatum, 6'10", Al Horford, 6'10", Robert Williams, 6'11", 7 foot, but they all can move legs. They're all versatile for us on the defensive side of things. And when I look at the Warriors, I'm looking at the Boston Celtics, I'm like, they have the length, they have the athleticism, they have the high IQ, they're able to communicate the switches and guard multiple positions. And then you add a guy like Grant Williams, who's the ultimate 3-and-D guy, coming in off the bench. I'm like, hold on. So they have stoppers all over the floor. And what I'm saying is that the Warriors just haven't been tested enough to go against a team like the Boston Celtics. And again, I'm going to point back to this. If you're able to defend a Kevin Durant, who's arguably the greatest scorer to ever touch the damn basketball. If you're able to defend a Kyrie Irving, who's arguably one of the most skilled players to ever touch the basketball, and you're able to guard a Giannis Antetokounmpo, where slightly just cause him trouble because nobody can stop that dominant force, but if you're able to contain him enough to win a series, I like my chances with this Celtic defense and their tenacity to beat the Golden State Warriors if they happen to meet up in the finals, which I'm solely sitting up here saying the Celtics are winning it all, period.
Well, listen, Perk, that's a hell of a closing argument. I know you represent the law firm of Perkins, Perkins & Perkins. Representing the Boston Celtics in the courtroom. I understand that.
Don't do that, Legs. Don't do that, Legs.
You laid out a great case. But listen, the guys you pointed out that Boston has defended to this point, all great players, but this is different because now you've got to communicate switches seamlessly. And not only switches, you've got to also make sure when you're running back in transition, you're fanning out and getting the guys early as the ball comes off the floor, because Golden State is going to be a different sort of animal that you've got to contend with for the entire possession. Look, I hope we end up with that series because I think those are the two teams that would probably give us the greatest drama. Boston's defense against Golden State's player and ball movement would be a dream. But as I said earlier, I'm not trying to get on the bad side of Luka Doncic and my boy Eric Spoelstra down in Miami either. These guys still got a lot to say about what's going to happen. We know where we think this is going and ultimately where it's going to end up. But I still think you got something special left in Luka Doncic. You did not see it in Game 1. I think he's going to be pretty special tonight. I'm not saying they necessarily win, but I think Dallas has a lot more to show than what we've seen to this point. Miami, I think they're in a little bit more trouble in that series.
I think there's a lot more that we're about to see, but I'm right there with you, Perk. So I'm going to ride that Celtics train with you. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Perk. And coming up